Now, for our feature presentation.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of How About This Movie. Today we will be reviewing the 2018 film Bohemian Rhapsody. Shout out for Bohemian Rhapsody goes to Nichelle.
Nichelle.
I know. I was testing you.
And you passed.
If you would like a chance to win the shout out, make sure you follow us on our social medias at Jecll Studios. We post obscure pictures of the movie that we watch. And if you are the first person to guess it, we give you a shout out on the podcast. And sometimes I even give it to the second person if you're like really close, because I have no backbone and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's really hard to see who really commented first.
Yeah. Anything, if we miss it by an hour, there's no chance for me to know who commented first.
Don't feel bad about coming second. It just means you have more fun.
Tyson. Who was in this movie?
Lots of people.
This is true.
A lot of people. Freddie Mercury was played by Rami Malek, who's known for Mr. Robot, and he was in the video game Until Dawn.
And
which was super popular.
Night at the Museum.
And Night at the Museum, yes, that's true.
It's true.
He played the Pharaoh.
He did.
Oh.
Yep.
Alright.
And then Lucy Boynton plays Mary. She was in Sing Street. I've never seen it. That's just what came up first. Yeah. Gwillem Lee plays Brian May. He was in Fresh Meat again. First thing that came up. Ben Hardy plays Roger Taylor. He was in X-Men Apocalypse. He played Angel.
Oh yeah. I thought that dude looked familiar.
Yep. Joseph Mazzello plays John Deacon. He was the little kid in Jurassic Park.
That's what you're saying.
Alan Leach plays Paul Prenter. I skipped somebody, but that's okay. Alan Leach was in Imitation Game.
I like that his name, I mean, obviously it's his real name, but his name is Leach.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul was kind of a leech.
Yeah.
That's probably why he got the job.
Mm-hmm. Aidan Gillen played John Reed. He was in Game of Thrones. I don't know his name in Game of Thrones, but he was like one of the main snarky dudes.
I think he's the, I don't know his name either, but he's like the guy that introduced Daenerys Targaryen to the Dothraki, I think.
Could be.
Never watched Game of Thrones.
He was also in Maze Runner.
Never seen it.
The Maze Runner trilogy. I like the Maze Runner trilogy.
I have not watched any of them.
Tom Hollander plays Jim Beach, also known as Miami.
Miami!
He was in Pride and Prejudice, and he played Cutler Beckett in the Pirates movies. Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't remember that character.
Well, in the first one, he wasn't like very prominent, but he was like the main bad guy in like the third one, and like the second and the third one.
Alright.
Or maybe just the third one. It's been a while since I've seen him. And then there's a special little cameo. Mike Myers plays Ray Foster. Took us a second to figure that one out. It was directed at first by Bryan Singer, who did a bunch of the X-Men movies and also The Usual Suspects. And it was then passed off to Dexter Fletcher, who was only credited as an executive producer. But Dexter Fletcher was in Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and also he is doing Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Very excited to watch.
Yeah, Elton John biopic.
Bohemian Rhapsody is a biopic of sorts, detailing the life of Freddie Mercury, and then probably to a lesser extent the entire existence of Queen. Not so much the other bandmates, the Roger, the Brian, and the what is his name? James?
John.
John. Fuck.
The one that got added in later that didn't really introduce.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Queen or Freddie was leaving, I think he said lines.
He had a few.
He had a few throughout the movie, but
Did
he? Yeah. But yeah, so not so much the personal lives of those three, but like the telling of Queen and then Freddie Mercury. Farouk. Last name I can't pronounce.
Me neither.
Yep. So we're just gonna call him Freddie because that's his name. It wasn't the most accurate that it could be. Just from the standpoint that it's multiple people telling the story of another person. So a lot of the stuff that they talk about in the movie that regards directly to Freddie isn't the most accurate.
It's not like we could ask him.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, he's dead.
Weren't there some people that were like really upset about the telling of Freddie Mercury's sex life?
I do believe... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And just how, like, even though it seems dramatized, how little he was fucking everything in sight.
Yeah, it did seem like, from what I read when the movie came out and like was first seen by like audiences everywhere, like that was the biggest discrepancy, was how the movie showed the band reacting to his sexuality as well as his overall sexual exploits, and then how that was all depicted. I do recall hearing that was not pictured in the way that it should have been, or as to the scope that it should have been. Like, kind of, if I remember correctly, downplaying his whole sexuality. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't there. But like, it is curious to me that they would leave out.
That's what a lot of people were upset about.
Yeah.
Just like emphasizing that he was fucking a lot of dudes and not necessarily that he was just fucking a fuck.
Yeah. Well, a lot of what I read was people more upset that at the way that the band's reaction to his sexuality was portrayed, or like a lot of people like saying that his homosexuality wasn't portrayed enough in the film, and like his like the effect of his gay relationships on Queen as a whole wasn't portrayed as enough in the film. I didn't read that people were like, well, he was bi and fucked women too, where's the women fucks? But like, it was all like, it was underrepresented. Or misinterpreted might be the better term for that.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was underrepresented at all.
I would vehemently disagree with anyone that
Yeah.
said it was underrepresented.
Yeah, I have heard people complaining that they downplayed his bisexuality more. But the people who are saying they didn't represent his homosexuality enough
Didn't watch the movie.
didn't watch the movie.
Yeah, because, I mean, he's groping up on dudes and...
Yeah. This is a very...
Followed a trucker into the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, that trucker was Adam Lambert, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, that trucker was Adam Lambert. I wanted to get that out. I had it in my fun facts, and then I covered it. But then I remembered that there was a second part to that. That seems like such a weird thing. We're not going to credit the band. We're just gonna credit the one person. Like, why?
Because they wanted the most royalties for a song they came up with and they put on the album. And that's what caused issues before Freddie had the HIV.
Yeah. Well, from what I was reading today, the issues were pretty overblown as well. They fought like any other band would, and I'm sure that some of the emotional connection problems that they had were real, but the band never broke up.
Freddie never went on a solo project?
He did, but the band never broke up. The different members of Queen had been releasing solo projects since 1977. I think Roger released the first one.
Oh, so they've been like side projecting everywhere. It wasn't a big deal that Freddie was doing it.
Freddie's first solo project came out in '85, which was the fourth or fifth solo project to come from a member of Queen. So Brian had two. Either Brian had two or Roger had two, and then Brian or Roger had the other one, I think is what it was. So third, I believe. Solo prod, so his would be the fourth. And they never broke up. Like, Freddie did get that deal to do a solo project, but the band just like took a little break. And then over the 2 years he was making that solo project, Queen released another album and did another tour. during the 2 years that Freddie worked on his solo project. So the band never broke up.
Yeah,
Like-
that seems very dramatized then.
Yeah, they all had an agreement in 83. Like, yeah, we're spent. It's been 10 years.
And they had wives and kids at that point.
We're gonna take a little break.
supposedly.
Yeah, they did.
So,
Yeah.
it just makes sense. It kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
But then.
And, yeah, like... So, I wasn't there, so, like, I don't know to what extent the tension was really exaggerated for the movie. But I do know that the band never broke up. They were together until they stopped touring when Freddie became too ill to tour. So, like...
Did they ever get, like, another singer after Freddie passed?
Adam Lambert.
So they didn't get anything until, like, the 2000s?
I didn't see anything. I don't think so.
They didn't tour or nothing?
I didn't see anything. They might have, but I mean, why would you?
I mean, you don't need the money, but
yeah.
just to
I do believe
keep the hobby.
I don't have it written down. I do believe that Brian and Roger did continue touring, but
John Deacon.
thank you. Retired in 97 permanently and hasn't done anything since 97.
Okay.
Oh my god, I have it written down! I don't have to ask Tyson anymore. I'm having trouble with J names lately because it was the same thing, I think, with the last movie we did. Oh no, his was Arthur. And I kept calling him something else.
Yeah, I think you could call him like Adam or something.
Yeah.
Andrew. Or
Andrew.
or something
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
Names are hard.
I called him Aaron just to make fun of him.
Hey man, there's a lot going on up here.
So does Adam Lambert actually sing with members of the band?
He sings with Brian and Roger. And they have another bassist. But Brian and Roger still, when Queen performed, still perform. Like, they're still in Queen. I don't think they're releasing any new music or anything.
Can't really, but yeah.
I mean, you could, it just wouldn't be as good.
I don't think it would have as much traction.
Yeah. Tyson, why don't you tell us a little bit about the budget of the scene? The movie.
Well, this budget was pretty okay, like pretty middle ground. 52 million. Its worldwide gross was a whopping nearly 900 million.
So crazy.
Opening weekend actually made 51 million, so
Made money back
Yeah.
almost.
Almost immediately.
almost immediately.
It was incredibly hyped. Like, I didn't know a single person that didn't want to go see it the day it came out.
Yeah.
There's stuff about it on YouTube everywhere, and it was everywhere.
Mm. It was the number one music biopic. All-time grossing.
Yeah.
Number one all-time featuring an LGBT main character or LGBT themes. And it was number 53 all-time worldwide gross. Which is pretty decent.
Did well.
Nothing to shake a stick at. I mean, you could shake a stick at it if that stick was, hey, congratulations or something like that.
Carly,
Yes.
what was your favorite scene in this movie?
My favorite scene of this movie?
Yes.
Can you really pick anything else that's not the Bohemian Rhapsody montage?
You could. There's a lot of good scenes in this movie.
That was gonna be my pick.
Well, guess what, motherfucker? It still can be.
It's just, I feel like that was a big focal point of the movie. Not necessarily the main portion of the movie, but it was just like what I felt was like the rise of the band.
Mm.
Another good one was probably the We Will Rock You creation.
Tyson! What was your favorite scene in the movie?
Live Aid concert. Good scene.
Mm-hmm.
Great scene.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick. There's a lot in this movie that is really good. I like...
Trains.
Yeah. It's almost like a tale of two people. So, like, the scene where it's just him and Mary, and Queen hasn't made it huge yet, and he proposes to Mary, and you see almost that old, and I don't know how accurate this is either, but, like, the more reserved Freddie, it's just him and Mary alone, and they're flat, and they're just together, and versus the, when they're out on the farm recording A Night at the Opera. And, like, it's the scene when they're all talking about new songs right before Freddie goes to finish Bohemian Rhapsody. And they're talking about my best friend or whatever, and I'm in love with my car. And Roger has his blowout. But, like, when my favorite part of that scene is Roger's blowout. But when Freddie comes in, he's like, "Oh, darlings, we can't have two dramatic queens in the band." And, like, he's just, like, way over the top Freddie, like, actual Freddie Mercury. And then, like, him and just Mary, it's, like, little Farouk. Like, it's two different people. So I thought that was interesting. But to answer the question, sorry, tangent. My favorite scene is, like, outside of the story progression scenes, is Roger's fucking blowout. He's about to throw the coffee maker. Not the coffee maker! And he actually stops. Like, I mean, if I was in a blind rage throwing shit, I probably would have thrown the coffee maker too, personally. But...
And then you would have regretted it later.
You would have come to your senses when they were
I don't drink coffee, though.
Well, if you were...
if I was Roger, I would.
Yeah.
If you were a sane human being.
Tyson, what would you score this movie, and would you recommend it?
This is a very good movie.
It is.
I would give it a 8.5 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that was keeping me from giving it a 9, I'd say it would probably be just some of the inaccuracies and stuff like that. But other than that, it was Queen, which is a great band.
Oh my god.
It was a shitload of great actors. It was pretty good in the writing. The visuals were awesome. It was very well shot.
Mm-hmm.
Great movie. 8.5 out of 10, and I would recommend it. I'd recommend it to everybody.
Carly.
Oh, me. Hey.
That's you. What would you score this movie, and would you recommend it?
I love movies that have the ability to tell a story and make you just, like, feel all of the emotions.
Oh my god.
Like, I got so upset at Logan because of how much I felt, and I was pissed at it. And there were so many times in this movie that I got angry at the movie. So that's when I love a movie.
Nobody makes me feel feelings.
Damn you for making me feel things, you movie. So I would give this a 9 out of 10. I have hair in my eye. And I would recommend it to everybody. What about you?
I'd probably give it like an 8. It's a very good movie. I really love movies that tell true stories. Obviously, we've already touched on some of the inaccuracies, and we'll touch on some more in a little bit. But I did think that this was a good movie. Those things aside, it was well written, it was well acted. I would absolutely recommend it. It was incredible. I mean, I completely agree with what you said. Like, I didn't know much about Queen or, more in particularly, Freddie to begin with. So, like...
Or their relationship with each other.
Yeah. I still don't feel like I know that very well, though. Because it does seem like it was kind of conflicting. Quick tangent, and I'll get back to what I was saying. I do know that Brian and Roger had a large amount of creative direction in the film. So I don't think they would have allowed their depiction to
be inaccurate.
To be wholly inaccurate. Because they did show in the movie riffs between the band and Freddie. Partially because of Freddie's attitude, but also partially because they did seem to be put off by his sexuality. I don't think I'm the only one that saw that, right?
I didn't really see them be upset or anything by it. They're just like, your mustache is gayer.
Maybe a little taken aback at first. Then.
Well, I think just his attitude
they
was
just left
more
his
important than
party.
his sexuality.
Like, well, yeah.
Because he was being a drama queen, because he was alone.
He wasn't being a drama queen during the party. He
Ready?
was... Yeah. Did you watch the scene?
Yeah.
He was just like, hey, let's have fun, let's dance. And everyone's like, let's get out of here. Because of the way he was... He wasn't being a drama queen. They seemed more uncomfortable.
He's being boisterous.
They seemed more uncomfortable with the way...
He seemed pushy, though.
Well, yeah.
So when you're an adult and don't really want to party all the time, and somebody's pushing you to do it, it's just kind of annoying and you want to leave.
You know who does want to party all the time?
Party all the time.
Eddie Murphy.
Jecll.
This girl, yeah, that one.
We're going to actually answer the question. You're going to sing the song. Fuckface.
Thanks for the non-information, Carly.
Yeah. Carly,
Great
God.
song, but the lack of information
Yeah.
is really hurting it right now.
That's what I'm here for.
I lost my train of thought. I don't remember what I was talking about before we got off on the tangent there.
Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Doing
Actors
some
aside,
stuff
how
at a
do you
party.
feel about the
Yeah, nope,
movie?
that's not where I was. I was past that.
Yeah,
Nope, stop talking. Shut the fuck up. Both of you shut up. I lost it again. Shut up! God damn it. Oh. I didn't know much about Queen and Freddie, etc., etc., etc. Like, the movie both made, for me, personally, both made Freddie a very sympathetic person. He did seem lonely in a lot of ways. But also, like, they didn't sugarcoat it. They did show him as someone who had toxic behavior and problematic behavior. Like, oh, let's be in a band, and then I'm going to show up late to every rehearsal and push you guys around and make all the decisions and etc. Like, he's probably right. Queen wouldn't be Queen without... Actually, he's certainly right. Queen would not have been Queen without Freddie.
Mm-hmm.
But part of what makes things like that work is not necessarily publicly acknowledging those things. And there are other times where he does acknowledge the band's success as all four of them. But, like, behind closed doors with the band, there are times where he's like, I'm Queen. You guys are you guys. Like, it did seem like it portrayed him in a pretty true to life light by sugarcoating some of it, or by being softer on some things and really harsh on some of the other things. So I like that. Like, I don't like when stories are just like, oh, he was an angel. No, he seemed like kind of a prick. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to party with Freddie Mercury anymore. Especially because he just grabbed Jim's butt. That's not cool. Consent is cool, Freddie.
Indeed.
Also, that...
Nothing hotter than consent.
Yeah. Also, that was untrue, by the way. The depiction of how he met Jim. He met Jim at a gay bar. And then he met Jim at a different gay bar a year later. That's how they got together. Not some, like, all-night romantic chat session.
They could have had a romantic chat session at the gay bar.
They didn't.
Would you recommend it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I already said that.
Okay.
In that,
Did you? Would
long,
you recommend it, though?
Long ramble there.
Would you recommend it, though?
No, don't watch this movie.
I'm getting conflicting information.
Yep.
Carly, are you also getting conflicting information?
Yes.
Yeah, no, you should watch it.
Okay, cool.
Don't watch it.
I'm so confused.
I should watch it, you shouldn't.
No.
But I've already watched it.
Don't watch it.
Okay.
You should watch it.
I already have.
Okay, good. Don't.
Fun facts. We got some facts and they're fun.
Fun facts.
They're facts, and they're fun.
Yeah. So, the depiction of how Freddie meets the band is actually inaccurate. Freddie was in a band called Ibex at the time. They changed their name. I didn't write down what they changed it to. You guys will know because you're smarter than me.
That's a pretty good name for a band, though.
Yeah, it's really long. Oh, Ibex?
Ibex, yeah.
I thought you meant the second part. I thought you were being a smart ass.
No, it's like an African antelope. This Ibex is pretty cool.
So Freddie was in a band called Ibex, and knew the original lead singer, Tim, or Tom, doesn't matter,
Of Smile?
through school. Yeah, the original lead singer of Smile through school. They went to the same arts program together. Which also, they don't talk about that. Freddie had an arts degree.
Well, he said he was studying design at that college.
Yeah, but he had a hearts degree. A hearts degree.
Hearts degree. He was a heart surgeon.
Yeah, I did forget that they mentioned that because it was like just like a throwaway line and then it was over.
They didn't say that he like graduated or anything.
But you're right. They did mention it. I just forgot about that.
I assumed that he just followed through with the colleging.
Well, I would assume that if he was going to school for college, and the way they showed the progression of Queen, he probably didn't have time to finish. That's how I always assumed, or how I had assumed. But no, he did graduate. He did graduate. Anyway, so he also lived with Roger for a stint before Queen becoming a thing. So before Tim left, Smile did a gig with Ibex. Tim eventually left, and it was at that point that they finally agreed to let Freddie join the band. Freddie had been trying to join the band for a while, and they kept saying no. So yeah, that was just to kind of expedite the process, but also made Freddie look like a weirdo because he knew so much about two dudes that he had never heard of him. He actually probably did know that information, but because they were in similar social circles. John Deacon was introduced at the first Queen gig with Freddie. It's inaccurate. He was the fourth bassist for Queen.
Well.
Yeah. But he did stick until 97 and has obviously since been replaced because he no longer tours. The Ray Foster character, not based on is not real. He's based off of the actual EMI president, Ray Featherstone or some shit like that.
Ray Finkel?
No, because Finkel is Einhorn.
That's true.
Einhorn is Finkel.
But the actual character wasn't ever like an antagonist of the band. He did have his concerns about Bohemian Rhapsody being almost 6 minutes long, but never like fought them like they were with EMI.
Yeah.
So that was not true. The Ray Foster character seems to be more of just like a thing for Mike Myers to get a cameo than anything else.
It was a good cameo.
You goddamn right it was.
Mm-hmm.
The last fun fact I have here, Freddie was actually diagnosed in 87 or 86, but after the Live Aid gig. He didn't know, or presumably didn't know. They didn't have some big come together moment before the Live Aid gig where he told them, because he didn't tell anyone until after. He told a few people, and then he publicly acknowledged it the day before he died. He released a statement the day before he died. But as of Live Aid, there was no knowledge of him having HIV or AIDS. Paul was fired, but not because of him, like...
Withholding information?
Yeah, that was not true. He was actually fired the year after the Live Aid gig for just, like, overall not trustworthy behavior. He had disseminated... The blackmail thing, that was true. He had disseminated some of that information as well as... was, like, throwing parties and stuff. Just, like, Freddie got sick of him, like...
trashed one of Freddie's apartments.
Yeah.
With a party that Freddie didn't know about.
Yeah. Also died of AIDS in the same year as Freddie.
So they probably contracted it around the same time?
Probably. I think it was either 3 months before or 3 months after. I believe it was 3 months before Freddie passed from complications from...
Pneumonia.
Yep. That's all I got. Anything else you two would like to add? Other than Queen's one of the greatest bands alive? Well, partially alive?
They didn't feature my favorite Queen song, Stone Cold Crazy.
I don't know that I know that Queen song.
It's a good song.
So...
It's one of their fastest songs, I'd say.
I'm kind of a shitty Queen fan because, you know, I only know a select few songs. But, like, through the whole movie, they're playing songs. I'm like, oh, yeah, I totally forgot that song was by Queen. And I'm just fucking jamming the whole time. They did not play a bad song in that fucking movie. I'm sure Queen released some bad songs. But they did not play a bad song in that movie.
They mentioned Best Friend, but I don't know if they ever, like, played Best Friend.
They might have played, like, a snippet or something from it, but...
I'm not sure.
I don't remember hearing it in the movie, but I remember them mentioning it. So the rest of the time I was singing, "Oh, you're my best friend."
It's true, you did like 13 times.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm annoying. I'm sorry.
No. Yeah, you are. So am I though, so it's whatever. Tim or Tom Steffel, whatever, the original lead singer of Smile, also recorded his own vocals for the movie. So he actually still remained friends with Freddie and them. I mean, I'm sure it was kind of difficult since no one knows who Humpy Bong is, to remain friends with them. But according to Tim or Tom, whatever it is, they have remained friends and, stayed in contact over the years.
Yeah.
That's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Follow the social medias, like the video, comment the video, share the video, tell us what movies you'd like us to watch. That's it.
Like
Thanks.
this video if you like Queen.
Like this video if you are a queen.
Dislike this video if you don't like Queen, and then unsubscribe and cancel your internet plan, because I just don't think you're allowed to be on the internet. I think Queen is too good for you not to like them.
I don't agree with that stance.
No,
but
he does.
Tell them the shithole we have coming up next.
Oh my god, we're gonna fucking do the dirt, you guys. Yeah, dude. So, we decided to do Queen as like a... Well, background. I listened to a podcast
No way.
that said... Not the people on the podcast said this. Someone told them that they thought The Dirt was better than Bohemian Rhapsody. Since we had already planned on doing The Dirt, we decided to watch Bohemian Rhapsody because this was the first time for all three of us, as far as I know.
Do you want to explain what The Dirt is?
Nope.
Okay.
It's another music biopic. Hopefully you know what it is. It's about Motley Crue. There you go.
Cool.
I did explain it after I told you no.
They might have heard that from a 14-year-old.
Yeah. Because it's definitely not better. But to get any more information besides that, you're going to have to watch the episode. But yeah, we decided to just do them both and
There's gonna be
decide
some
for
comparing
ourselves. Yeah.
between the two movies.
Thanks for watching. And as always, nothing really matters.